Welcome to this lesson on vector-valued functions. Today, we are going to explore how to calculate limits and determine the continuity of these functions. This is a fundamental concept in multivariable calculus that extends what you already know from single-variable calculus. Before we dive into limits, let's quickly recall what a vector-valued function is. It is a function, usually denoted by r of t, that takes a real number t as an input and outputs a vector. We can write this as a vector with component functions f of t, g of t, and h of t essentially. As t changes, the tip of this vector traces out a curve in space. So, what does it mean to take the limit of a vector function? If we say the limit of r of t as t approaches a is some vector L, we mean that as the input t gets closer and closer to the number a, the output vector r of t gets closer and closer to the vector L, both in length and direction. The good news is that you don't need to learn a complex new definition to calculate these limits. The component-wise limit theorem tells us that the limit of the vector function is simply the vector of the limits. You just take the limit of the x component, the limit of the y component, and the limit of the z component separately. Here is a visualization of that concept. As our parameter t moves along, the vector r traces a path in space. If the x, y, and z coordinates individually approach specific values, then the vector itself approaches a specific point in space. Labeled here as L, it is like three separate single-variable limits happening at once. Let's look at a simple example. We want to find the limit as t approaches 2 for the vector with components t squared, 3t minus 1, and 5. We calculate the limit for each slot. T squared becomes 4. 3t minus 1 becomes 5. And the constant 5 remains 5. So our limit vector is 4, 5, 5. Sometimes you might encounter indeterminate forms, just like in Calc 1. Here, as t approaches 0, sine of t over t is indeterminate, but we know from standard limits or L'Hopital's rule that this approaches 1. The y component, e to the t, approaches 1, and cosine of t also approaches 1, so the resulting limit vector is 1, 1, 1. Now let's talk about continuity. The definition is exactly what you would expect. A vector function is continuous at a point A if three things are true. The function is defined at A, the limit exists as t approaches A, and most importantly, the limit equals the function value. Visually, continuity implies a smooth, unbroken path. If there is a hole or a jump in the curve, the function is discontinuous there. Just like with limits, a vector function is continuous if and only if every single one of its scalar component functions is continuous. If even one component breaks, the whole vector function is discontinuous. To wrap up, remember these 3 points. 1. Limits are computed component-wise. 2. You can use all your standard single-variable calculus tools on each component. And 3. Continuity requires every component to be continuous. Thanks for watching, and good luck with your calculus studies.
If you like this video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Visit codelucky.com for more such useful content.